You've done it. You've made it to challenge day 4, which is great because not many people do. You know, things get tough, things get hard, they give up. They go and find some get rich quick scheme instead. But you haven't, you've stuck with it, and you're here on day 4 where I'm going to teach you all about launching. So let me know if you are here live. Please say hello as always, and do that one thing I always ask for, which is to give me a heart or a thumbs up. I would really, really appreciate it. Hopefully you found yesterday okay. Yes, this is the hardest one, I think. But if you've done the last 3, you may as well do it. You may as well try, right? You've done the last 3. Hopefully you've learned some stuff as well. Hey, Alice. Hey, Katrina. Nice to see everybody. But yeah, by now, like if you had never come into the world of passive income before and selling your knowledge, hopefully you're starting to realize by now, it really isn't that difficult to do, and you can do it. And that hundreds and hundreds and thousands of other people are doing it, and that's how they're making so much money. You know, in a way that's ethical, because you're selling your knowledge. It's not a pyramid scheme or one of these unethical ways of doing things. It's a really good way of sharing something that you already have, knowledge that you already have. So hopefully you've learned things. If you already have courses that you've tried to put out there before, or you've tried to make money from passive income and semi-passive income from memberships or workshops or anything like that, and it hasn't really worked for you, hopefully you might have seen why. Usually the 2 reasons that things don't work for people, the first reason is they haven't grown an audience properly and they haven't grown the right audience. Well, hopefully you realize you can absolutely do this, and that hundreds of people do. And the second reason that it doesn't work for people is they don't launch properly. And I'm going to help you with that today. Okay. Are you all ready? I'm just going to remind you of the prize, because I know there's new people coming on each day going, what are you talking about? So what we're doing is a 4-day contest here. So it's a 4-day challenge. You need to do all 4 parts of the challenge by Monday at 12 p.m. You can do them over the weekend if you want. You don't have to do them on the day. You do them when you have time to do them. We have plenty of people who have 9-to-5 jobs do this challenge every single year. So you do all 4 parts of the challenge, and I will enter you into a draw to win a prize from, well, there's some gorgeous Dior earrings that I've bought for you. I also have some Chanel gifts. I also have a Fortnum & Mason hamper for somebody that's just being lovely and helping everybody else. I also have, what else do I have? A Mulberry wallet that's very pretty that I also want. So we've got some stuff. And if you don't want any of those things because, you know, it's just not your thing, we can swap them out for something you do want. So do not worry. So do all those 4 things. And then on Monday, so after this, you've got the whole weekend in the group to catch up after we do this one today. You'll have the whole weekend, so you can have a look, you can go and help other people with their ideas if you want to as well. One of the other things that you can do is we're going to have some people that have already done Race to Recurring Revenue and my One-to-Many program come in and share their stories about what's happened to them. Because I think sometimes you need to see that other people have done this and it's working for you to believe that you can do it too. So we're going to have some people share their stories with you. Don't worry if you haven't got much feedback. It's not that it's not a good idea. It's that there's just too many people. And so people are trying to help and give feedback. But there's just too many people there. There's just too many people that are posting ideas. It's again, the other reason why if you've posted something and we have declined it and we haven't let it through, it's not because it was a bad question or anything like that. It's just that we're getting hundreds. So we're just letting one through every now and again. Okay. Do me one more favor. Give me a load more hearts and thumbs up. You can give me angry faces as well if you want, because that also gets the algorithm going. So it shows it to other people so that they can come on. If you've missed any of the live so far, there's one every day that you need to watch, which is the morning one. They're all at the top of the group. At the top of the group, you will be able to see them. Also, Renee has been coming in every day, our mindset coach. She's been coming in to help you with your mindset. They're all at the top as well. So you can catch up on all of these. But let's go into, stories of the past members are amazing because it's really good to see what they've done. I mean, we literally have people that have made millions of pounds from doing my one-to-many program. We've also had people that have made £50,000 or £10,000. So I wanted to give you a cross section of all the different people that have made money. And next week, from Monday onwards for the week, I'm going to be interviewing people as well that are my success stories, like the people that have done all different kinds of things, so that you can see people in different kind of industries, because I don't want you to think it's all coaches or it's all people talking about money. I want you to see so many different people do this. And I know lots of you are asking about one-to-many, but we're not going to talk about it until Monday evening because I want you concentrated on this. Okay. Let's get going. So the reason we're talking about launching today is because once you've grown that audience, you know exactly what you're going to sell, you've written the content for your course or your membership, or you've at least written the sales page, you're then going to want to sell it once your audience has grown a little bit. So this is the part that everyone gets wrong. People go, oh, here we go. Here's the launch. I've got this course ready or whatever, this sales page. I'm going to go on and I'm going to tell a few people on social media, hey, I've got this course. Does anyone want it? And it doesn't work. And of course it doesn't work, because that's nowhere near enough these days to launch something, to sell something. So you're going to have to, it's usually about a 6 to 8 week process when you launch something online, when you sell something online. And it's things like you're going to have to introduce people to the problem that they already have. Introduce your solution. Might have to educate them. You might have to warm them up that they can do something that they didn't know that they were able to do. You're going to have to think about your messaging and how you're going to get your messaging out there. You're going to have to think about what your launch strategy is going to be, like what your actual launch event is going to be. And then the stages in that, like the high touch strategies, the messaging strategies. It's a big thing, the launching bit, and most people get it wrong. Also, launches change every year. The reason that if you've had launches before and you've put stuff out there and it's worked, and then suddenly you've tried to launch it again last year or this year and it hasn't worked, that's because launches have changed. We can't just keep copying the same thing that we did 10 years ago to launch, or even a year ago, because it's completely different these days. And that's why a lot of people that follow the big gurus out there aren't getting very good results at the moment, because they're still teaching the same way they did 15 years ago. Things change all the time. I am in a really lucky position that I work with around 5,000 different people in different courses every year. I see all the launches. I know what works. I know what doesn't work. I know what's working differently from the year before. And so this year in one-to-many, they changed so much that I've had to change pretty much all the modules in one-to-many, but especially the launching module, because it's different now. We have to think about what works all the time. Now, it gets outdated fast, but over the last year, I have had a £2.2 million launch in a week. I have had many multi-six-figure launches. 200,000, 300,000. I have had even more six-figure launches, 100,000. And I have clients, hundreds of them, that have done amazing launches from kind of 10K to a 1.5 million. So, this launches work. How I teach them works, and I see people doing it all the time. But we need to make it easier for you, because what we don't want is for you to launch and go, God, that's exhausting. I don't think launching should be exhausting. I think it should be fun. And so if you're going to be launching, I want to make sure that, you're prepping everything beforehand. Like in one-to-many, we have a checklist so that you can literally go, right, today I need to do that, tomorrow I need to do that, tomorrow I need to do that, because it's just a step-by-step process. I'm going to teach you a part of that process today. So I want you to think today about one way of launching. There are so many different ways of launching. I teach all of them one-to-many, but I want to teach you one today, and that's challenge launches. Oh yeah, we have a launch training. One-to-many, we concentrate on a massive part of launching, but I'll tell you about that on Monday. But what's really important is that you think about your launch strategy, your launch event. So one way of launching is a challenge launch. Hopefully you're putting this together now, what I'm exactly doing here. I grew my audience. I knew the course that I wanted to sell. I wrote a sales page of that course. I then said to that audience that I had already grown that I was going to do a challenge launch. You came into the challenge launch, and on Monday, I will sell some of you the one-to-many program because you want to continue. So I'm doing to you exactly what I'm teaching you to do so that you can see how it works. So why is a challenge launch good? For a few reasons. The first is integrity. I'm all about integrity. So there's not always going to be everybody that can do it. Not everybody's going to be able to afford your courses, but by doing a challenge launch, at least they can get some of the information. Of course, they're not going to get everything in a 12-week program. No one can give that, but they can at least make a start or get thinking about how they could make passive income. So integrity wise, that's amazing. You know, it means that you can sleep at night knowing some people that can't afford you can still get some information from you for free. The other thing is people can know if you're doing a challenge launch if they like the way you teach. Like, I'll tell you now, some people will hate my voice. They will go, oh my God, she grates on me. If you hate my voice, there's no point coming into a program that you're going to have to listen to me for 12 weeks. Some people don't like the step-by-step and some people do. So I'm doing step-by-step during this challenge so that you can see that once you're in one-to-many, I will be doing it step-by-step and you will be able to follow along. So a challenge launch is a brilliant way of doing things. It introduces people to a subject that they might not even realise they needed or that they could even do, which is what I've done with you guys. So I'm just looking down because I'm making sure I've not missed anything. A challenge always ends with a task. So how a challenge works is there are two ways of doing it. The first way of doing it is to take one part of some of the course. So this is what I've done with you guys. So one-to-many has 12 different modules. I've taken 4 of the most important modules and I've taught you a tiny bit about it, probably about 5% of what's in the course, but I've tried to give you as much as possible in the time that I've had. And I've been able to give you a task to complete so that you can actually do it each day. So that's one way of doing it, taking 4 parts of what people will need to learn. So maybe, you know, if we went back to yesterday's example or the freebie example of like the transformation statement of helping people learn how to play the piano. So you know how we were saying you go from beginner to Beethoven and there are different things like chords that you're going to need to learn. So let's say chords was one, melodies was one, scales was one. In a 3-day challenge, you might do a tiny bit of each of those, for instance. And a 3-day challenge is fine. So then you could do it a different way. So I had this course called Fabulous Foundations, which I've still got actually. And in that one, rather than take one tiny bit of each of the modules that I'm going to teach, I decided to take one of the modules and go big on it. And that was money mindset. So module 2 is money mindset and Fabulous Foundations. And what I decided to do is take that module and teach a bit of money mindset every day. So, you know, the first bit was, I think, what's your money story? Get people to think about their money story. The second bit was, what are you telling yourself about money? So what are the limiting beliefs that you've got around money? And they'd write it down because that was the challenge. And the third one was something else, like what do you actually want to do with your money? Because money has to go somewhere. And I got them to make a vision board and show what they wanted, why they wanted money. And that was the whole 3-day challenge. So it can work with anything you do. It doesn't matter if it's a subscription box. There's still challenges that you can do with the subscription box. It doesn't have to be exactly what's in the box. It has to, if you think about what people are buying your subscription box for, they will have other interests around it. So if I was doing a subscription box for female entrepreneurs, and it would have things in like a book and it might have some stationery in it, then what I would do around that is I would do a challenge either about money mindset, I would do a challenge about goal setting, maybe, because if it's a female entrepreneur, they're bound to want these things as well as the subscription box. Or I might do a challenge about strategy, having a strategy plan, and then in the masterclass, I will sell the box and say, this is another way that can help you with your business. And it's fun. and do it that way. So there's different ways that you can do this for anything you're selling, including products. So what I want you to do, and I know this is more difficult than what you've been doing so far. Same with an e-guide. What are the chapters in the e-guide? Exactly the same. I would like you, same with a membership. Like somebody's just said, but what about a community member site? It's exactly the same. You're still going to teach certain things in that membership. So if you have a membership for people that like the theatre, you could have a 3-day challenge on what have you seen and what haven't you seen yet. You could do one about who's your favourite West End star. I want you to research them and see what you love about them. Like there's so many different things you can do for anything. And you'll see when people start putting their challenges in, I want your task to be a 3-day challenge. I want you to do 1 sentence. I don't want to know what the whole challenge is. I want you to tell me what the tasks that you would get them to do are on all 3 days of the challenge. So if I was doing that for myself for this challenge and I was doing this exact task that you are doing now, I'd be like, okay, what did I write on day 1? I wrote that I wanted to teach people how to make passive income because I know how to do that. Great, tick, 1 done. What did I write on day 2 for the freebie? Well, for the freebie, I was going to do something like 5 ways to make passive income today. What did I do for day 3? Well, the transformation statement for my course was going from broke to passive income or whatever I decided to do. So I'm now going to do a challenge to help those people. What can I do for a challenge? Well, what am I going to teach them? I'm going to teach them things like how to grow an audience. I'm going to teach them things like what passive income really is and what they even know. What are they going to make passive income from? Great. I know what I'll do. Task 1 will be, what could you make passive income from? You have to brainstorm all your ideas. So the task will be, write down 3 ideas you've got. Task 2 will be, well, they need to grow an audience. So I'll give them task 2 will be, what might your freebie be called? The next task will be about the course. They're going to need to know how to write a course. So the task could be, write down your transformation statement. And day 4 will be, they need to launch. So they can work out what their challenge is going to be. Do you see that I'm doing to you exactly what I'm teaching you to do? Like, I want you to write down the 3 things. And it doesn't matter if it's wrong. This is just getting you thinking about how you would do this. It doesn't matter if it's wrong. I would be scared that I might give them too much on the challenge and they wouldn't want to join the course. Everyone's scared of this, but look how much information I've been able to give you. Like hours worth of information. And yet my program, One to Many, has 6 months worth of information because you're doing it differently when it's step by step. There's all the other information that you need to give people to get the best out of it, to make sure they have the absolute best chance of the result that you want to give them. You don't have to deliver it face to face. No, there's lots of different ways to launch anyway. Challenge is just one of them. I just want you to practice challenges today. But yeah, have to do it face to face. I like doing it face to face. I see what you did there. See? Now it all clicks in and it all makes sense. And you can't say you don't understand it because you've been part of it. You've done it yourself. I'm going to read out Andrea's because it's good. Andrea's put, okay, so my course is about anxiety. So I'll do a 3-day anxiety challenge. Day 1, identify your anxious thinking style. Day 2, identify your triggers for anxiety. Day 3, identify your anxious behaviours. Perfect, because when they've done those things, the next thing they're going to want to do is come into a course about how you can help them. How do we relaunch a course we've already unsuccessfully launched? You learn launching properly. You can still have the same course. It will be the launch itself that you didn't do well. I've got my challenge idea. It's going to be great for them and empowering. Brilliant. It is the hardest task, but all you need to do is break down, like, what are you going to really teach them about in this course? You've already told me what your transformation statement is. So you know where they are and where they're going to be. You know really what they're going to need to learn in between. If they're going to need to learn that stuff in between, what little tiny task can you give them? And don't make it too hard or complicated, because it's just introducing them to the subject. What little task could you give them that they could go and do? I'm thinking about that. I'm actually wondering whether a subscription box product might work for GCSE. We've seen that before and it does work. Don't worry about giving away all the knowledge. You can't give away all the knowledge. You have too much knowledge for that. And even if you don't have all of the knowledge in your subject. You can read all of the knowledge in your subject. So it's pretty easy to get more knowledge. What if the course doesn't have enough to pull anything out for free and leave stuff in there? Then you need a better course, and we can make one. There is no topic that you can't do a year's worth of a course with if you wanted to, but I don't want you to do a year's worth. I want you to do 6 weeks. A 6-week course is more than enough. So if you can find tiny bits, like I've told you quite a lot of information, but it's nowhere near what's in the program. Like the program is much deeper, much bigger. There's accountability, there's all different kinds of things in there that you don't get in a challenge. You won't give too much information away, even if you think you will. I want you to write it down. Day 1, task. Day 2, task. Day 3, task. That's all I want. A sentence for each day. It doesn't matter if I don't understand why you're giving them that task. You do. You understand what you're going to be teaching them and why they're doing that task. How do you do that for nails? What are you teaching them about nails? So if you work out what you're going to teach them about how to do nails, then you can give them a small task. So it might be, what kind of nails do you want to do? Like, what do you want to be an artist in? You might teach them about the different types of nails that there are for 10 minutes. And then you might ask them to go away and research it and find what they want to do. There's so many different things you can do. Okay. It works in the same way for an ebook. It works in the same way. But if I was going to choose a passive income stream, I definitely wouldn't do an ebook. You won't make enough money from it. I would use your ebook as an audience building technique to get more people into a course about the same thing that you're going to do the ebook on. You told us what you're going to tell us, then you've told us. In your later sessions, you're telling us what you've told us. Exactly. I'm glad it's falling into place for some of you. My course is Marketing for Dog Pros, the foundation of marketing. So my challenge would be, 1, master your messaging so you know what the heck to say on social media. So what would you get them to do? 1 sentence, what would you get them to do each day? Day 1, write down what you think people care about. Day 2, review mine. Find words, phrases and repeated bits that come up. Day 3, what do you do that with what you've found? Brilliant. Love that. I've got a 3-day tarot challenge. Day 1, card of the day. Day 2, 3 card spreads. Day 3, the major formula, going deeper. Love it. If I'm not ready to launch a course, I haven't figured it out, do I still grow my audience in the meantime? Yes, and that's what most people will do. You won't maybe know the exact course you're going to do right now. You'll grow your audience and they'll tell you what they need. I just want you to do this exercise pretending you're putting out a course, because I want you to work out how to do a 3-day challenge so that you understand how to do it. Pop your answers in the usual thread. I like this one. Challenge for kids. 1, find a space in your garden to make a fairy garden. Submit the photo. That might be too hard. You might need to go down just a tiny bit. Anything that's going to take them over an hour, they probably won't do. Number 2, clear the space, pick up litter. What task are they going to do? Are they going to just take a photo of them doing that? Number 3, decorate the space with flowers or ribbons. I love that. Great. You seem to have got the idea now. What if you need an 8 to 9 month long course? That's okay. Like some people have a 12-month course. That's all right. Oh, I have to remember to give you a spot prize because I forgot to give you a spot prize last night. Okay, today, one of you is going to get another £25 Amazon voucher, and that person is going to be wherever my thumb stops while I'm scrolling, and it is Samantha Quinton. So Samantha Quinton, please DM me your email address and we will get that sent straight over to you. All right, I'm going to let you go and do this. I'm going to be back in. Remember, Renee's going to be in for your mindset at 1 o'clock, and I will be back in at 7:30 to see how you've got on. And then you've got all weekend to think about this. So do not worry too much if you haven't got it perfectly right yet. You've got till 12 p.m. on Monday to get your answers in. And I will see you. I will put the link in here. It's already in the events tab. If you go to your events tab in Facebook, but it'll be everywhere in here on Monday. So you will know exactly where to go for the masterclass. It won't be in here. It's on Zoom. Because it's a proper webinar, it's a proper masterclass that people pay for. Some people pay for. So I want you to just click on the link on the Zoom at 8 p.m. on Monday, and this whole thing will be brought together and you will understand everything perfectly. I will see you then, and I will also tell you who the winners are then. And I will speak to you all soon. Have an amazing day.